3 historically black churches were intentionally burned down in 10 days in Louisiana.
The 3 churches were Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, St. Mary's Baptist Church, and Great Union Baptist Church. Each church was just a few miles away from each other and were all over 100 years old. Louisiana Police Department have arrested a sheriff deputy's son, Matthew Holden, in connection to the fires. The 21-year-old faces multiple charges of arson if convicted.
What are your thoughts on the church's fires? Please leave your comments below. My name is Desmond Desagugwa, and this has been the Morgan Minute.
The Verizon Innovative Learning Program gives Baltimore City middle students the chance to learn using creativity to inspire them to become young tech innovators. Verizon partners with Morgan State University to host a boot camp that exposes students to high-level technology. 123 Design is the editing software used to build the Tower of Power.
All you guys are able to use is 1 box of spaghetti and 2 bags of marshmallows.
Up next, the construction of the Tower of Power takes place. Students form groups and work together to construct a project using their designs. This interactive stage causes the most excitement from the guys. Once completed, the day comes to an end, but the guys keep their innovative thinking on standby, waiting for the next session.
5 minutes left.
Next X Cinema is the first Black-owned movie theater in Baltimore. The theater aims to bring unity to the community. Watching diverse films in a Black-owned theater definitely takes representation to the next level. The theater sits in the Pikesville community. The independent theater offers the intimate experience with cushioned seats, a bar, and exquisite food. Right now, the theater holds a 5-star rating since opening day, March 7th. Do you think this business will inspire other Black-owned businesses? Comment down below your favorite Black-owned business.
Today in Diaspora in 30, we take a small glance into the world of African diaspora-inspired art here in Baltimore City. We begin our journey with Janelle and Kristen Steele. This husband and wife team are art collectors who share a love for African diaspora art. Their growing collection contains The Awakening by Tawny Chapman. Tawny's focus on family bonds is clear in this International Photography Award-winning piece. The Steeles told us that Baltimore's own Stephen Towns, creator of The Magic and Mystery of Nat Turner, is one of their favorite artists. Baltimore artist Devlin Waddell creates furniture using fabrics from the African diaspora. Devlin shared his thoughts on where his inspiration comes from.
My African inspiration primarily, at least started with the different colors and textures of the fabric. Then I found myself realizing that some of the fabrics actually tell stories on them, so I started digging a bit more into the Adinkra symbology and those sorts of things. I have been doing furniture for, I guess, a couple years now, and it started at my vintage shop. I sold vintage clothes, I did vintage styling, and instead of buying retail fixtures to fill the space, because I was in these spaces picking old stuff, I would pick old furniture too, and I would happen upon these African textiles, and one day I was sitting in the shop not liking a chair I had purchased, and I thought to myself, well, I have this fabric and I have this chair, let's see what happens. The idea of creating or making is sort of setting place in the world. This is the space that I'm holding. It lets me know that I exist as an individual.
Here on the campus of Morgan State University at the James E. Lewis Museum, Robin Howard is the Associate Director for the Center of the Museum and Historical Preservation. She spoke with us about the current exhibits on display at the museum.
In the space that we're in right now is the African collection. So this collection is from different countries in Africa.
In addition to the art from the continent of Africa, the museum also has a collection of art created by artist-educator Faith Wrinkle. Faith is best known for her quilting work.
The work that we just acquired from 2017 is a part of her portfolio, and that portfolio was 12 pieces, and it tells a story, or it tells the conundrum of basically freedom or not being free, not, African Americans not actually being free, because it starts with the first piece is a painting of George Washington talking about freedoms and liberty, and then right next to it is she's painted a slave ship. So here we are with George Washington in the new land of freedom, and then you have a slave ship right beside it.
For Diaspora in 30, I'm Keanu Miller. Come and enjoy African-inspired art in Baltimore City.
Hey, other schools, you can mess with us if you wanted to. We the Bears, we the Live Squad, we the orange and blue. Hit the folks, then we mainly rock, then we drop on you. Get the win, then we leave the field like we wanted to. Hey, we the best now, we make winning moves. Say we the best now, we make winning moves. If you see us on the field, that means you are gonna lose. And we quick, so just take this out. Now we comfortable. Hey, hey,
Get it there.
hey,
Yeah. Pump it up, pump it up.
hey,
What?
Morgan.
Hey, hey.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119,
every parent isn't perfect. That's expected. But they really sacrifice a lot for me, and that's just from what I've seen. Who knows what I haven't seen, what they sacrifice for. But I know, because like my mom's a nurse, my dad works for DC government in the environmental department. So I know both really work hard, and if I'm stressed, I would think, oh, my dad would be stressed, but he would know how to manage it. Or my mom, like how, say, like if I have like a huge amount of work to do, and the thing is I don't have a drive, it's like, oh, my mom would find a way to do this. Like, God got me here, even though when I believed that I couldn't get myself, when I believed that I couldn't get myself to here in this moment in time being a junior, but I know that like, if he got me here, he'll send me farther beyond than I can see. There have been times that like I thought like, am I really doing the right thing? Or I know that, oh yeah, God's always there, but like, I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, like when it comes to like what I want to do, but like, am I actually gonna see it? But I guess that's where faith comes in.
So everyone assumes like being the only child, I'm probably spoiled, but I'm definitely not. My mom does treat me a little older than I am, though, I can say that. So I have grown into an old soul, I would say. You know, and since I'm a single child, she's also a single parent, it's a lot more. So in a way, I'm also helping her, you know, achieve things or making sure she's okay. It's like I have to watch out for my mom's back. So I actually did grow up with my father. We just recently kind of had a outing. But I can say it was okay. I didn't really get the whole two-parent dream though, because I was sometimes with my mom, sometimes with my dad. So it was a lot of back and forth. That means it was 2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgiving, 2 birthdays. It was 2 of everything. At times though, there was like numerous birthday parties up until I was about 16 years old that he never was able to come to any of my birthday parties because he was over in Iraq or Afghanistan fighting for the country. And so it was like I grew up with my dad, but I didn't because I talked to him on the phone, but it wasn't the same as in being able to jump into his arms at the end of the day of school or anything like that. With my mom, she was also in school. She was in college herself when I was younger. So there was times I'd be sitting in the back of a college classroom eating popcorn, coloring. But with her showing me that, she just showed me that like I can still accomplish things. And that having a child or someone like that, or not being with the father of the child, it doesn't make a difference of how I can bring up the child.
I'm in love right now, actually. I like it a lot. I like that feeling every time I see her. It's like a flutter inside. It warms my heart, puts a smile on my face, and I usually don't smile, so it's something new for me. It's a mutual feeling. Because you can think you might love someone, but it's just like, oh, I enjoy this person's company, or you know, I like some things they do. We just have the same interests. But when it's mutual, like you can both feel it off each other, like the aura that you're in when you're around the person, like how you feel. I'll say that's when you know it's real love, when it's mutual. My mother, I don't know, just the way she treats me and like how she treats others, and especially like with my father. I see how happy they are and how they treat each other, like how they act around each other. It's like, I don't know, I just picked up off it.
My skateboard, to me, in one word, means freedom for me. And it's a way for me to define myself, because when I first started skateboarding, it was my best friend in high school. She put me onto it, and we would always go out and try to learn together. Neither one of us really knew how to, but we taught ourselves, and that was years ago. So today I still use it to get around campus, get where I need to go, and just sort of a way to commemorate her too, since she passed away. So I definitely keep to it now, since that she's not here with me to skateboard with me today. She committed suicide. We were really close in high school, but we started to fall off going into college. So only thing I would regret is just not keeping up that friendship, because I was really close with her in high school, but I kind of let my own ego and my own pride get ahead of me, and I was just like, well, you know, people fall off all the time, it doesn't really matter. But one thing that I really hold dear to my heart are the people that I started with, and are a lot of people that are from my high school that are still friends. I'm still friends with to this day, and she was one of them. And even though that we weren't that we fell off. I felt that we were still close and that I should have kept to that. Like I should have worked on that more.
I just lost my sister, and I lost my dad 6 months prior. So I think so far those have been the hardest moments of my life, and that all occurred this year. And knowing that I have a purpose, I honestly feel like I have a purpose. I have been known to get compliments from friends who have said things like when they're having a bad day, you know, I say things that just turns everything around for them. With my children, I know that I'm meant to lead my children somewhere. I know that I'm meant to have a very prosperous career and meant to do various things. And so because I feel like I have this great purpose, you know, and I haven't met that purpose yet, I keep pushing. My daughter's actually graduating this year. She's in the 12th grade. Yeah. So she now wants to attend Morgan because I'm here. She's very excited. To her, it's like, I can't believe my mom had me at such a young age and she's doing these many things and she looks up to me. Now, you know, she always has, but that's just inspired her a lot more. My son feels like I'm super mom anyway. So since my son feels like I'm super mom, this to him is just like, yeah, she's great. She does stuff like this and she's gonna do more and I'm gonna be great like that too.
Go to that.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
My name is Keiswana Williams, and I'm here to end sexual harassment and sexual assault.
1 in 5 women experience sexual assault while in college.
Another 25% of women experience sexual harassment in the workplace.
The Me Too movement is a movement against sexual assault and sexual harassment that went viral in 2017.
75% of harassment victims experience retaliation just because they reported it. Me Too movement brought down nearly 201 powerful men. They all have been replaced by women. We here at Morgan State do not tolerate sexual assault or harassment. What are you going to do?
So my poetry is more like, call myself an inspirational speaker, poet, and vocalist. And the purpose of my poetry is to provide purpose, to encourage people to live on purpose, to enlighten people, to uplift people, to encourage others and motivate them to do what they want to do in life, be who they want to be, and know that God, is the greatest resource, that God loves all of us, and that, His purpose for your life is the reason why you're here. So that's what I want my poetry to convey.
Oh, Lamb of God, sweet Lamb of God, I love you, holy Lamb of
What kind of God is this who allowed my loved one to get sick, stood on the sideline and watched the enemy win, didn't give me that promotion and kept me in this condition I'm in, who said he'd catch me before I hit the pavement, but it's so cold down here. I feel so alone. What kind of God is this who can't make my house into a home? Whose people backbite me, talk about me like I'm dirt, when all these actions that I'm displaying is only to address all this hurt. I can't see down here, the darkness is engulfing my mind. What kind of God is this? Where's the peace they promised I'd find? And why are you so demanding, always telling me what I can't do? I thought that with you all things were possible. What kind of God are you who can't deal with this topic? How could you allow something so beautiful to become so toxic? What did I do to deserve this treatment? What kind of God are you who can't give me a reason? I've tried searching for you for just about all my life, but everyone that gives me an answer can't really tell me why you're right. So I'm just going to keep on doing me and not believe in anything. I choose to take flight and spread my own wings. Until you can prove to me that you're you, I'm just going to keep on living and do what I do. But God says, I am that I am. And that loved one that was sick would have been in worse condition had I have let them live. And I'm so sorry that they're gone, but I'm holding them right here in the cradle of my arms. And that promotion that you wanted would have been great in the moment. But I knew that long term is not really what you wanted. And I tried to catch you before you hit the ground. But when I reached for your hand, you put your hand down. And I know it's cold down there, but I have the warmth that you need. All I ask is for you to draw a little closer to me. You know they say the best cure for warmth is body heat. And your house will be repaired just as soon as you come home. And my people that talk bad about you still need a lot of help of their own. And I know it's scary when you can't see what's ahead, but the darkness will get bright when you walk into your light. And that peace that you wanted is not a one-time buy. It's a process and a journey that you must consistently apply. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, but my grace doesn't abound in places I'm not invited to. And I'm willing to deal with any topic that you're able to trust me with, but when you hold on to them so tightly, I can't get past your grip because I'm a gentleman. And there's beauty in all things. There's nothing that's not beautiful. Some is just harder to see. And there's no punishment that I'm giving you, no favoritism or special treatment. And I always, always give you a reason. It's just sometimes you ignore it when you don't agree with my word. It's alive and it states that those who diligently seek my face will find me. But you're so caught up in the noose of defying, you won't come down 1 minute from that high. Not realizing that those things are taking your life. So you can remain doing your own things, unaware of what's ahead, and I'll just sit back with arms open, hoping that you don't end up dead before you know the truth. I pray that you will loosen that noose. Those strongholds and lies that are taking your life, the truth doesn't have to prove itself. It just remains right. There's no major thing that I can do, no one sign that I can give. Your mentality will wake up when you want to see it live. When your mind is willing to break up with all the negative and your heart is willing to awaken that I've been here ever since. You ask me, what kind of God is this? I sit back, listen, and reply with this. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the God who you have, but I've never forsaken. I'm the God who stopped your heart from breaking and giving you every single breath of life that you've taken. I'm the God who helped you pass that test and made the other one come out negative. I'm the God who, when you questioned your desire for life, gave you the will to live. I'm the God who sedated every pill that you popped. I'm the God who whispered, keep going, to that cop who wanted to stop. I'm the God of the internal clock. I am the God of the tick. That heart beat, that's me. I am love, I am peace. That heart beat, that's me. I am love, I am peace. Selah.
If you ever end up in a situation like mine, make sure to contact the MSU Police Department at 410-396-2444. Be sure to look up and look out by paying attention to your surroundings at all times.
resemble a unique, multifaceted, and weird type of blackness that we've never seen on screen before. And one of these unique characters is Paperboy. TV is becoming more and more of a writer's medium, and as a result, we're getting more diverse and more complex stories and characters. This is certainly true for the new wave of TV shows that are coming out with majority black casts and majority black writers, such as Atlanta, Queen Sugar, and Insecure. These shows give us a wide range of topics, from everything from sexuality to mental health to feminism and racial identity. The characters in these shows also resemble a unique, multifaceted, and weird type of blackness that we've never seen on screen before. And one of these unique characters is Paperboy from the show Atlanta, who is the estranged, rapping, low-key famous cousin of the main character Earn. Paperboy is a trap rapper, but he actually rejects the notion that he has to conform to what people believe a trap rapper should be. It's hilarious because the fans, the magazines, and actual real-life circumstances force him to become this made-up character that his rhymes and his reputation have created. Thus, certain circumstances may force him to pull out his gun and shoot somebody, may force him to beat up somebody, but that's not who he truly is at his core. Paperboy struggles with his personal identity versus who the world is trying to force him to be. And because the Atlanta rap scene has no place for pushovers, he has to assume the role of the tough guy gangster rapper in order to survive and to keep his music career trending upwards. Next we have Nova Bordelon from Queen Sugar, a conscious and spiritual journalist who's deeply entrenched in her African roots. Nova is also bisexual and dating a white male police officer and an equally woke, conscious black woman at the same time during the climate of Black Lives Matter and police brutality. She of course keeps her male love interest a secret because if discovered, folks will feel that her opinion on Black Lives Matter and platform will be rendered invalid. Lastly, we have Issa, her best friend Molly, and her boyfriend Lawrence from Issa Rae's latest show, Insecure. All three of these late 20-somethings are just trying to make sense of their lives and get to that next level of adulthood. And through their adulting journey, Issa and Molly make some terrible decisions. I mean, one could argue that their tragic flaw as characters is their decision making in their personal lives. And by the end of the last episode, all three characters muddle the line between right and wrong. And don't get me wrong, all of them have made bad decisions, but by far, Issa is the most destructive and reckless character out of anybody on that show. These three characters, just like some of the characters in Atlanta and Queen Sugar, are just trying to get their lives together, and as a result, they operate in this ethically gray area. Especially when you're talking about the characters on Insecure who are still in their 20s. Your 20s is kind of still the time where you're still trying to figure it out and you're making a lot of mistakes that you have to learn from. I'm still trying to figure it out. So going back to my original premise, these three shows and others alike have some great writing, some great characters, great concepts, great cinematography, and some great acting. These characters are complicated, flawed, and real, and their stories are vital. So what do you think about this black renaissance that's happening in TV right now? Is it important? Are you inspired? Is it not that big of a deal? Let me know. Comment below. We got more movie reviews coming your way. We got more book reviews coming your way. And we got more random stuff coming your way. I'm in the bathroom.
keep looking at me. That's
And I
the
have
issue.
2 eyes and I can look where I want.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Hold up. Would this happen with Black knowledge? Let's take a look. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." Why are so many of us quick to use skin color as a tool of shame and division? We are all different colors under the same human family. You never know what could be learned from the next person if you base your actions on prejudice. Learn what's true. Find Black knowledge.
Hey girl,
Hey.
you're in my journalism class, right?
Yeah.
You got an A on the last test?
How did you do it? Because I am struggling.
Take yourself back into the late 1700s and early 1800s. What comes to mind? Some might say America's independence. Some might say the birth of our nation's anthem. But then there are many that will think of slavery. It was a very difficult time for individuals of color, taken away from family and loved ones, shackled to enemies and people of other nations within Africa, and taken away to lands unknown to them under brutal conditions. But that did not stop many to find and make their way back to Africa. Many have fought to gain their freedom, and some even managed to buy their freedom. Among those individuals, you will find a man by the name of Lot Carey. Lot Carey was born 30 miles away from Richmond, Virginia around 1780. Blessed to have both parents, his father was a well-respected member of a local Baptist church, but Carey did not become involved until he was in his late 20s. With expressing interest in the church, he soon learned to read and was later licensed by the church. While ministering to slaves around the area, he was also a laborer for a local tobacco warehouse. He was such an excellent worker that he eventually had an annual salary of $800 and was also able to earn extra money by selling pieces of tobacco. In 1813, after the death of his first wife, he saved enough money to buy his freedom along with his 2 children. Within that time frame, Lot Carey was able to raise $700 in 5 years to have himself, along with a few selected missionaries, go to Africa. In one of Lot Carey's last few sermons, he shared this: "I am about to leave you and expect to see your faces no more. I long to preach the gospel to the poor Africans, the way of life and salvation. I don't know what may befall me, whether I may find a grave in the ocean or among the savage men or more savage wild beasts on the coasts of Africa. Nor am I anxious what may become of me. I feel it is my duty to go. And I very much fear that many of those who preach the gospel in this country will blush when the Savior calls them to give an account of their labors and tell them, I commanded you to go into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. The Savior may ask where you have been. What have you been doing? Have you endeavored to the utmost of your ability to fulfill the commandments I gave you? Or have you sought your own gratification and your own ease, regardless of my commands?" Many had mixed views on traveling to Africa.
How would I live? Eat? Work? What about my family?
Why all they gotta go to the God for the forsaken jungle? What is that gonna do for us? I wanna be here to take care of you, to help our baby right here, because I love you, and it's not gonna be the same.
If I move to Africa, then I can teach Africans how to learn English, math, and science, and mostly preach the word of God.
I will make it to Africa, land of my forefathers. I'll be free.
ain't no pioneer.
On January 16, 1821, Lot Carey along with others set sail from Virginia to West Africa. But sadly, after 44 days of travel, Lot Carey's second wife passed away. It was in 1822 that Lot Carey moved to Monrovia, Liberia, where he quickly became popular and ministered to the natives of the land. He was soon able to establish churches all over and was also able to open schools to tribespeople by 1826. Towards the end of his life, Lot Carey was given the responsibility to care for former slaves that had arrived in Liberia. Even though some were recaptured, he was able to help some regain their freedom there in Liberia. In November 1826, Lot Carey tragically died from an explosion that happened while in the process of making bullets. Lot Carey lived a life that helped inspire others to seek God's face. It has also motivated others to venture to different parts of the world and spread the gospel.